Good afternoon, Cross Timbers. Today is Thursday, January 20th, 2017, and I am Mckenzi Jordan. Today's stories include the unveiling of portraits of the past Tarleton presidents and NASA's SpaceX rocket. These stories plus more coming up next on Texan TV. In campus news, a ribbon-cutting ceremony is scheduled this afternoon for the unveiling of the portraits of Tarleton's past presidents. Artist Mary Waters, the sculptor of the E.J. Howell bust in the Howell Building, will display her pen and ink drawings of past university presidents, which will grace the hallway as a permanent collection of the university. The ceremony is a free event that will begin at 4 p.m. today at the Administration Building. In local news, according to the Flash today, enrollment at Three-Way ISD is more than double what it was just 4 years ago. School officials are adding new grade levels and making plans for a new building. Superintendent Paul Ryan said 4 years ago the school had about 50 students. Today, 115 children, 3 years old to 8th grade, attend classes in the district. Ryan said the school board recently voted to create a high school, backing the addition of 9th and 10th grades over the next 2 years. With the growth of rural schools being talked about across the state, Ryan said the best part about the expansion of the Three-Way ISD is that the district is doing well financially. Meanwhile, registration for the first 9th grade class is beginning and informational parent meetings are ongoing. The next meeting is set for 5:30 p.m. today in the school's cafeteria, and future meetings will be announced on Three-Way ISD website and Facebook page. And now today's Texas national and international news from the Associated Press. A 17-year-old Fort Worth area high school transgender wrestler who is transitioning from female to male has won a girls' regional championship after a female opponent forfeited the match. Mac Beggs, a Euless Trinity High School junior who is undefeated this wrestling season, hugged losing opponent Madeline Rocha from Koppel in the victory stand Saturday after their match for the 110-pound class 6A Region 2 championship was canceled when Rocha declined to wrestle. Beggs and Rocha advanced to the state championships next weekend. The top 4 finishers in the region qualified for the state tournament. Beggs did wrestle Caitlin Clay of Grand Prairie in a semifinal match Friday night and won with a pin. Clay finished 4th in the regional tournament. In national news, a SpaceX rocket soared from NASA's long-idled moonshot pad Sunday, sending up space station supplies for the exact spot where astronauts embarked on the lunar landings nearly a half a century ago. It was the first flight from NASA's legendary launch complex 39A since the shuttle program ended almost 6 years ago, and SpaceX's first liftoff from Florida since a rocket explosion last summer. The crowds at Kennedy Space Center watched eagerly as the unmanned Falcon 9 rocket took flight with a cargo ship bound for the International Space Station. They got barely 10 seconds of viewing before clouds swallowed up the Falcon as it thundered skyward. The celebratory roar grew when the Dragon cargo ship successfully reached orbit a couple minutes later. It will reach the space station Wednesday, delivering 5,500 pounds of food, clothing, and experiments. SpaceX has spent tens of millions of dollars to make 39A Falcon ready. By the time astronauts climb into a Dragon capsule to fly to the space station, Shotwell said, pad renovations will exceed $100 million. In international news, security camera footage obtained by Japanese television appears to show a careful and deliberate attack last week on the exiled half-brother of North Korea's ruler. The footage obtained by Fuji TV and often grainy and blurry seemed to show 2 women approaching Kim Jong-nam from different directions as he stands at a ticket kiosk at the budget terminal for the Kuala Lumpur airport. One comes up behind him and appears to hold something over his mouth for a few seconds. Then the woman turns and calmly walks away in different directions. More footage shows Kim, a long-estranged member of the family that has ruled North Korea for 3 generations, walking up to the airport workers and security officials, gesturing at his eyes and seemingly asking for help. He then walks alongside them as they lead him to the airport clinic. For more of today's national and international news, we turn to the AP News Minute.
This is AP News Minute. President Donald Trump met in Florida over the weekend with several candidates for National Security Advisor. Acting Advisor General Keith Kellogg and former UN Ambassador John Bolton were among those on the schedule. The Homeland Security Department has drafted sweeping new guidelines aimed at aggressively detaining and deporting immigrants illegally living in the U.S. Plans included hiring thousands more enforcement agents and expanding the list of immigrants marked for immediate removal. More than 1,000 people of different faiths gathered on New York's Times Square for the I Am a Muslim Too rally. They were protesting President Trump's immigration policies. And Iraq's military released video of Iraqi jets carrying out airstrikes against Islamic State forces in Mosul. The Iraqi military is fighting to retake that city. Sandy Kozel, The Associated Press, with AP News Minute.
In sports, the Texan softball team defeated the A&M Commerce 3-2 yesterday. The Texan baseball team walked over the Arkansas Fort Smith Lions 13-2 Sunday evening. Today, the Texan softball team will face A&M International in an away doubleheader beginning at 12 p.m., then again at 2 p.m. For today's weather, we can expect mostly cloudy skies, but later this afternoon, the sun is expected to come out with highs in the mid-70s and a southwest wind up to 10 miles per hour. For the remainder of the week, we can expect partly sunny days with temperatures in the mid-70s. This has been a production of the Texan TV News, a product of the Texan News Service from the Tarleton State University campus in Stephenville, Texas. Watch us live on Apogee Channel 2.1 in the dorms at 12:30 weekdays. If you live off campus, tune in on Northland Channel Cable 9. You can follow Texan News Service on Facebook and Twitter and check out our website at www.texannews.net for all of your latest local, state, national, and international news. Today's broadcast was produced by Danny Hernandez. Have a wonderful day, Texans.